Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of the Fishing Teacher, and much appreciated you guys making some time out of your day to watch the video. Definitely never take that for granted. And today we're going to be talking about the chatterbait, or commonly known as the bladed jig. I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it, a little history behind it, and sort of the conditions and situations it works good. So if you're not familiar with it, guys, this is a bladed jig, or chatterbait it's commonly called. And it's a simple bait. It's basically just a lead head that you have right here, like a jig head, with usually a 4 or 5/0 hook. And then it has a pivotable blade on the head. And this blade, when you reel it through the water, it makes this thing go crazy like that through the water. And it just creates an action that the fish really like. Guys, I'm going to say over the past 5 or 8 years, the chatterbait has accounted for probably more high finishes in tournaments than about any other lure out there. It's an extremely productive lure for quality fish. And a little history behind it is it started out probably about 15 years ago. An angler won a tournament down at Lake Okeechobee on the chatterbait, which was brand new back then. And for a while after that, people thought that this was basically a grass lure because Lake Okeechobee is full of grass in Florida. And what happened is people started experimenting with this, and they found out that it works good around anything, any wood cover, rock cover, around boat docks, whatever. This chatterbait is just one of the most versatile lures that you can ever possibly use. Color variations and the trailer variations are wide. This right here, I've got a white and chartreuse skirt on it with a white Zoom Z swim behind it, designed to resemble a shad. But if you put like say a green and a chartreuse and a little bit of orange on the skirt and a green pumpkin trailer, you can imitate variations of perches and variations of crawdads. So a lot of it depends on the forage that the fish are after. In general, what I do is I match my color of my skirt and my trailer to the water clarity. If I'm fishing off-colored water, say water visibility of like less than 1.5 feet, I like the white like this because it stands out a little bit more. But if the water is a little bit cleaner, sort of on that 3-foot visibility, I may go to like a green, which seems like I get more bites with that. So the technique and the way you want to fish this thing, like I said, it's really, you throw this thing around anything that you would normally fish shoreline cover with. If you're fishing grass beds, even if they're offshore grass beds, you throw this thing out there, let it sink down to the top of the grass and start reeling it in. If you're fishing it around wood cover, you may reel it past the wood cover like this and then let it sink a little bit as it gets past the wood cover. Is a really good way to catch them. You can't go wrong. It's just the typical slow to medium retrieve. And one of the things I like to do is I'll cast it out there, and depending upon the structure that I'm fishing, I may start reeling right off the bat, or I may let it sink down a little bit. But I'll reel it like this, sort of a medium retrieve, and then occasionally I'll stop it and speed it up like that. So what happens is it's going along like this, sort of like at the regular pace. Then it goes a little bit faster, then a little bit faster like that, and sort of vary it with a stop and go retrieve. Sizes on the things, for the most part, I'm using a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce, just depending upon the wind and how deep I want to fish it. I normally fish it on like 17-pound test, a Sea Garden Vizix line, and some type of a medium heavy 7-foot rod with that. But the main thing, guys, the one thing that you're going to find out about a bladed jig is there's hardly zero situations where it won't work. I mean, like I said, around any visible shoreline cover. A lot of people throw it like on deeper main lake points and let it go to the bottom. You can yo it off the bottom. A lot of guys will like pump it off the bottom and let it fall. It's just really up to your imagination how you want to fish it. But there's something special about this lure. This blade on the front of it and the frequency of the vibration that it puts out, it's just very appealing to fish. I mean, it's become one of my favorite lures for quality fish. And you'll notice another thing about a bladed jig. On the average, it produces larger fish. I'm going to say that out of the top, if you listed like 20 different type of lures, I would put the bladed jig in the top 5 as far as the size of fish that it produces. It's just a really good way to catch quality fish. And like I said, the type of trailer that you have on there is just up to your imagination. The colors are up to your imagination. and how you can fish it and where you can fish it the same way. So give them a try, guys. Like I said, they're incredible baits. I'll put the Bait Works link in the description here. If you guys are interested in getting a few, you can use that link and get you some there. But definitely want to include this in your arsenal. Bladed jigs, one of the most highly effective fish catching lures out on the planet right now. So hope it helps out. We'll see y'all.